S5E4 deep here. Welcome to the group chat, sis. I am Jada, and clearly it's not four of us this time around. So as y'all know, or if you don't know and you're new here, this is one of our individual episodes. So this episode, I will be talking about this month's topic, which is about decluttering toxic habits, old mindsets, and even friendships. So I'm the last one, thank God, to talk about this topic because oh my gosh, the girls have been dragging left to right between Des, Cam, Jada. Oh my gosh. But we're gonna wrap it up here and get into mental health. So what I want to talk about today is about burnout, the stigmas around therapy, and then how to combat burnout and these stigmas. So, if you've ever experienced burnout, you feel like you're on the verge of burnout, or you've ever questioned about therapy, this is the episode for you. So, first things first, I want to talk about how Gen Z and millennials handle stress differently. So I've done a little bit of research, and y'all, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But one thing I've noticed is that it's saying that a lot of millennials, their stress is physical. Like they can literally feel the stress and anxiety on them. And, a lot of people that, comes within your gut, you have that gut feeling, or maybe you start feeling nervous, you start getting hot, that kind of thing is how stress is manifesting for a lot of millennials. And for Gen Z, it looks a lot like anxiety. And I think that can come into play because right now we're in the era where we're experiencing a lot of changes, whether I don't think we're starting college, whether when we did start college and exiting out college, whether we're going to grad school, starting our professional life, like it's a lot of transitions. And with that comes anxiety. And I would say for when I transitioned out of college in 2022, I was naturally an ambitious person. And after I graduated, I was going to start a full time job. I had my business and I was starting a flea market business and the podcast. And the podcast was in the making. Actually, that was 22. We didn't come back. We weren't here yet. And so, yeah, so I had a lot going on and I didn't know what burnout felt like, but shortly after all those things started piling up, I felt it. And although I am Gen Z, that was one time where I literally felt the anxiety like physically. Like it was to a point where I was waking up anxious every day. I was just like, sometimes my chest would be really, really tight. Like it was impacting me physically. And I had to take a step back and be like, okay, girl, what's going on? What's going on that's inflicting this and how important is it? Why are you doing it? And so for the ambitious people, the people who have a lot on your plate, especially a lot of things that you choose to put on your plate, I recommend looking at all the things you're doing, writing down your capacity. For example, you're not always going to be at 100% capacity. Writing down your capacity and then seeing how much energy each of those tasks take and then filling the puzzle. Is it going to fit? If your capacity is 80% and you got one task that takes 90%, oh baby, I gotta go. I gotta go. Or you gotta narrow it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying here? So yeah, like when you are a person that has like these constant things going on, and I don't blame you. Be ambitious, baby. Like we are not multifaceted, if you ask me. But you definitely have to take a step back, or I've learned that I've had to take a step back several times. What am I trying to say? I've learned that I've had to take a step back and remind myself to take a step back, whether it be every quarter, every other month, and check in with myself. How am I feeling? What am I doing right now? Do I feel good? Do I feel stressed? Do I feel like I got too much going on? That type of deal. And then from there, ask yourself, okay, based on this, what am I going to do next? Am I good? Can I keep going what I'm doing? Am I too overwhelmed? Do I need to stop doing something? Check in with yourself so you can avoid burnout. And then when it comes to the therapy stigma, now I've always heard how therapy is good for you. It can always be beneficial. Don't do it don't do it for what is it like when it's the after effect of what you're going through, do it preventatively. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. And so, life is life. I am 24 and a few things have, occurred. But to the point where it's like, okay, this therapy may not have been fully preventative, but it can be preventative as I move on through my life now. And so I've always been like, oh, I want to have a therapist. I want to look for a therapist. I want to start therapy, blah, 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 blah. Just saying it. But this year I made it a goal to actually do it. And I found a young Black woman therapist. We meet virtually and I absolutely love it. I think we're like 3 or 4 sessions in. And yeah, it's something that I actually really look forward to. And we're still growing and going. She's getting to learn more about me, but it has been very, very helpful. I know a lot of people are like, honestly, I think our generation, Gen Z and millennial, are pretty open to therapy, if I'm being real. I think it's the other generations that are more so like, what happens in house stays in house. I don't need to tell nobody what yeah. But I have to give it to us. I think we are pretty good on being open to therapy. And so if you haven't already, I suggest you start. Look into your insurance, to look into free programs in your area so you're not spending a bag on therapy. But regardless, whether you're paying or not, it's a great investment. It's a great investment of your time. It's a great investment of your money, if need be. And I love it. And I highly encourage everyone to do it because you need that third party, that unbiased party. But not only is it an unbiased party, like these people are literally like, this is their job, this is their specialty, this is what they're knowledgeable in. Like they know how the brain works, they know how our behaviors work, how we interact with one another. And so they can help explain the things that we can't really piece together or fully understand that we do or that other people do. So nonetheless, go to therapy. Okay. Enroll, install, and let me know how it goes when you do, because I love it. And I'm just so excited to see how this journey does for me. And one of the main things also why I started it is because I plan on making a really big move at the end of the year and I need some stability. Like this is going to be one of the biggest changes in my entire life. And I need somebody there to guide me and give me the tool tips to be able to go into this transition as smooth as possible. I know it's going to be rough. I know there's going to be different things. And that's also what she's there for, too. But I wanted to make sure I had this cadence going with therapy so she can help me, get my mind right for this move. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about therapy. So, definitely, get rid of that toxic habit of ignoring the signs of therapy, ignoring looking into one, ignoring finding one. Like, get in here and better yourself, hun. So yeah. And then overall, when it comes to burnout, like I know I mentioned checking in with yourself and stuff, but really it's the small things. Like don't beat yourself up when like you planned on doing 500 things in a day and you only got 300 things done. Like girl, it's okay. It is not the end of the world. And a lot of things you'll realize is not a matter of life or death. And a lot of things that seem urgent are not urgent. Seriously. So like I recommend just like, sharing with your friends too, to like I share with Four Deep and other friends and family. Like I have a certain capacity and I know that I am good for overdoing it. So I tell my friends and family, hey, like if it looks like I'm doing, a bit too much or that I'm stressing myself out or that I'm overwhelmed, check me, let me know. Like even at work, like I have coaches at work and I tell them, if it looks like I'm taking on too much, let me know. And my coach, he will let me know. Literally one time he was like, oh yeah, I don't want to be, rude or anything. Cause this is when he first started being my coach. He was like, but I want to let you know, like, I think you're doing good you know I don't want you to be overwhelming yourself or taking on too much that you can't handle, and I needed that. Like that's why that's my dog now. But yes, have your friend tell your friends what your goals are when it comes to your mental health and taking care of yourself, and have them help you hold yourself accountable. It's going to take a little vulnerability, I'm not going to lie. I'm not gonna lie, but it's gonna be very helpful. And I love my friends and family for it. And I really appreciate it because sometimes I cannot hold myself accountable by myself. I need a team. What they say, it takes a village. Okay. So yeah, that's what I have to say this month on, struggling when it comes to mental health and how I've coped with it, how I am coping with it and trying, to just get through it. But yeah, I'm interested in hearing too if like there's any ways that y'all cope or manage burnout or prevent burnout because we don't want to get there. And also any stories you've had about therapy, like have you found the one? Are you still looking? Have you had horror stories? Like what's tea on that, sis? Let me know in the comments. If you're listening on Spotify, I believe you can comment. Apple Podcasts, maybe too. But if you want to have a deeper conversation, you can always DM us. And you can always leave a long comment too. We love those. We read those and we will respond. Okay. So yeah, that is pretty much it for my episode. We are going to be wrapping up this theme called spring cleaning, but make it life, where we're decluttering toxic habits, old mindsets, and even friendships. But if there's anything that you feel like we should talk about under this topic or anything outside of this topic that we should talk about, please let us know in the comments or DM us on Instagram and we could chit chat about it. And who knows, maybe that might be our next topic or a topic of the month after. You never know. But yeah, if you made it here this far, girl, why is that like button not liked? Subscribe button not subscribed, that rating not done. Like, give us some love, show us some engagement, because although we love talking to y'all and sharing these gems, a like, a comment, a share goes a very long way. I know it's very cliche, but like literally it helps. It helps us get our reach. Okay. So yeah, thanks y'all for always listening. I will talk to y'all later. Have a good weekend if you're watching this live, or have a good rest of your week if you're watching this during the week.